How's it going out there, true believers? It's I, Shane, your purveyor of the pages, your galactic guide to all that is the MCU and the 616 Comics universe. Please, if you would do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more of the goings-ons like this. I'm trying to get this one out before Wednesday because, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. And I hope you've been enjoying all the content on the channel because I've been enjoying doing it. And this has been a nice little challenge figuring out how to do multiple things at one time. Or should I say multiple shows at one time. So we're here to talk about Agatha All Along, episode 6, Familiar by Thy Side. Obviously, the familiar would be teen, but, you know, after last week, and let's just be honest, if you pay attention to what they say is going to be in the shows, like it's going to be the Origin Awakened. Yeah, this is William. This is William Maximoff, Billy Maximoff, William Kaplan. So, where do I begin? Do I talk about the comic character or do I talk about what's going on in MCU? Now, initially, I did not put down the comic character in my notes, so all of this is coming from up here. So, if you remember any of my reviews from WandaVision, and if you weren't around during my reviews for WandaVision, they are in a playlist. Go ahead and find them. Watch them after this, of course. Or, you know, go watch them, then come back. But no. Watch this first, then go and watch that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the episode review when they show up right in the bottom right there so that you guys don't get lost. Guys, Billy Kaplan, William Kaplan, is obviously one of the twins. Tommy Shepard is his brother. So when Scarlet Witch had babies, twins, with the Vision, the midwife was Agatha Harkness. She was helping throughout all of that. It turns out that the boys are actually both two pieces of the souls of Mephisto. And Mephisto told them to come back. Now, this whole entire ordeal was so attractive to Wanda that Agatha was like, "No, we're going to make sure you don't remember this." Halabazoo. She don't remember any of it. Her and Vision don't remember that they had children. And so when time went on and then that spell broke down, she's like, "Where are my kids?" And then you get the Children's Crusade because both of those two separate shards of Mephisto's soul had so much sentience that they were able to be reincarnated as Billy and Tommy. Tommy Shepard, who's called Speed. I like Speed. I like Speed a lot. I wish he got more time. He does not get as much time as his brother Billy. Billy is obviously gay here and in the comics. Tommy is bisexual. A lot of bisexual characters do not get a lot of shine in an MCU. But Tommy's cool, right? And Tommy's the speedster. Didn't know that Wiccan had telepathic powers until I saw some, you know, people like to put up things about the characters beforehand, or should I say after the show. But yeah, did not know he had telepathic powers. But yeah, you know, his mom's OP. Why can't he be OP too? Why? I got some gripes with this episode, but I'll get there in a minute. But William Kaplan, Billy Kaplan, Jewish, just like in here. And his love is Hulkling, who is a spawn of both Kree and Skrull together. He is both together. He is Hulkling. And they are part of the Avengers, the Young Avengers, mind you, with, you know, Kate Bishop, Patriot, Stature, Kid Loki, all of that good stuff. Now, Hulkling, by the way, again, nothing to do with being the Hulk. Just he chose to be green skinned, but he can morph and all that. Remember, he's scrolling Kree. Although one of my biggest gripes about those two characters is that, at least when they initially appeared, it was just only about them and their relationship. I'm like, I want, like, look, man. And it has nothing to do with them being a same-sex couple, because let's just all be honest here for 5 minutes. Gene fans, get your asses in the back. One of the most annoying things about Gene and Scott being together is just either all about them together and neither one gets a time to shine, or they just put too much focus on that stupid fire chicken. God. And I gotta admit, over the decades, the writers have gotten better at being able to say, hey, this person's in a relationship, but they are also two separate entities who can have personalities. They have succeeded with that with Wiccan, I don't know, and kind of Hulkling when you get to the the Empire storyline, and he's fighting to make sure he can be on the throne of both the Kree and the Skrulls together. That was interesting. That gave them more stuff to do and fleshed out their characters. Early on, it's just like teen kissing. No one cared about that shit. Other stuff is good. There is a storyline, though, with the Young Avengers where you see their future selves. And Wiccan is uber powerful. Cool, powerful in a way. I think they have to fight an evil version of himself. Again, this is coming off the top of my dome, because I did not prepare this in my notes. Again, because I was annoyed. So let's talk about Billy William Kaplan in this show right here, because this episode gives you the background of the things that led up to right now at this point in the show. And this is actually the second thing I reviewed within this week that does a flashback. Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War did a flashback leading up to the point, and this does a good job as well. I very much like it when you do things like this, instead of, especially when we have established shows, established lore, and we know what happened before. So when you do a flashback, you show things that happened around that certain event. And this was done nicely. Billy's, like I said, Billy's Jewish. I believe he's 14 because this is 3 years in the future now. So he's 14 because he's 17 now. He's not old enough to drink. And read his bat mitzvah. He's reading all the stuff in Hebrew. He has bat mitzvah with the party and all that. But, he has a nice little group of different people with different faces and different backgrounds in this party. And there's a fortune teller there. And guess who the fortune teller is? It's literally a college room. And, he goes and he's like, I want to know about my future, but not too much. And she's like, sorry, pretend I'm not here. I got to hand it to him. He still has that comedy. And like Lily says, anyone can tell that you're a good kid. Just, live in the present. She basically tells him that because when she reads his palm, she's like, your lifeline is cut. And then she does her little woobity thing where she says the tarot card. She says the reverse tower. And the lights are all flickering and all that good stuff. And tells him, live in the present. Go out there. Now, he left his jacket. She is who put the sigil on Beery and Jimmy Lee. Billy is the one who she wrote it and put it on him. And of course, we just don't remember who if they put the sigil on the person, right? Until the sigil is broken, then everything is revealed. And she put it in his pocket. It's like, someone left this, whatever. Now, the party was closed because WandaVision was going on during this time. It was in the red dome anomaly with the runes, which Billy has footage of seeing the runes on there as it was shrinking, right? They get an accident because the mom doesn't know how to freaking drive. Looking out to the side, it's like another car is coming careening towards them. I believe it's a Ford F-150 Silverado. Go off the road. Boom. Oh, man, everybody okay? No, Billy's dead. We know he's dead because then we hear Wanda, and we also hear from the WandaVision first episode, my telepathic wife and I got a husband that's got a robot head and all that other jazz. I didn't write down exactly what it said because I recognized it, but who cares, right? We get to that point. They crash. You hear, good night, Billy. Good night, Tommy. And he wakes up, yeah, Tommy. And he's just looking around. Doesn't really know where he is. That boy died. I feel bad for that boy. I feel bad for Willie William Kaplan. That boy died in the spirit of Tommy, because whatever Wanda makes is so freaking strong that it can be two at the same time, and then that's what happened. By the way, if they haven't canceled the White Vision show or Vision Quest, if they haven't canceled it, which they probably shouldn't, because it seems like a certain type of fan really enjoys all the Wanda and Vision shit, probably shouldn't. And I can imagine that the Vision that was created inside the world that Wanda created, all of his memories and whatnot are going to go into the Vision. We're going to talk about Vision again later. Take a drink every time I say Vision. So, in the hospital. They say he has amnesia because he's not going to remember his life, right? There's his parents, but he can read their minds. And before they even start to argue, because these are good ass parents, bro. They're worried about their kid. The dad's trying to tell jokes. The mom kind of upset, like, why would he blah, 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 blah. And my thing is, I'd be like, it's your fault that our son got like this. You could not pay attention to the road. But he didn't do that. These are good people, good folks. The Kaplans are good. Rebecca and Tom, hold on a second. They say the names in here. Surprisingly, you have to love closed captions, because closed captions will tell you everything. I always recommend using closed captions, guys. Watch subtitle movies. So wait, another thing. The dog's name was Greg, which is funny because Greg barks at him. Who names their dog Greg? It's okay name. Dang, Jeff. Jeff is dad. Rebecca is mom. You want to get home, he can read their minds, and it's just like, look, stop worrying about me. Stop worrying about me. I just need to go into my room. He has to tell himself over and over again, I am William Kaplan. And what's crazy is you see there's multiple mirrors. There's the large vanity mirror. Then that vanity mirror, the standing up mirror, they're called vanity mirrors, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But then there's another mirror, and you can just see him looking in there. And from the other mirror, he's looking over there. And I like this as a representation of here's the body, here's the soul, trying to convince himself. So 3 years later, he's in the car with the boy that's his boyfriend. That boy's name is Eddie. How cool would it be if Eddie was Hulkling, even though they're probably gonna make Scar Hulkling? I hope they don't do that. But anyway, and Eddie's like, oh, I gotta just say I love you, Billy Kaplan, William Kaplan. And he's like, I love you too. I love you. And he is honest, says I don't remember anything before the accident. And says, I'm not really William Kaplan. Okay, if you're not him, then who are you? And he's done all this research into what happened at Westview, because they're in Eastview, but what happened in Westview, witches, magic, all that other good stuff, right? And so he meets up with a person. Only one person's willing to talk to him about it, and he needs to meet up in secret. Now, who would be that person that would meet up with him? Everyone? I'm not going to give you a chance to answer, and I'm not going to leave you hanging. And I wrote in my notes, I said, if it's Ralph Boner, I will freak the F out. I'm going to drop an F-bomb later. Yes, Ralph Boner is there with a little beard. So it's, oh God, one of the guys from Superbad, Quicksilver, Evan Peters. There we go. Not the one person that's smart enough to not become Craven. He's meeting up, having a conversation with him, tells him everything that happened because the news put out there that it was Avengers training gone wrong. Okay. And I love that William, Billy's like, oh, you're cute when you're gullible. Because why would you believe that, right? Why would the government tell you? He, the kid's name, his online name, Crazy Cash 17. And then it's like, I forget, Bonerific, whatever. It's like, I'm Ralph. No, Randall. My name's Randall. Damn it. He's jumpy as hell. And this is the part I'm going to cover from my phone notes here. Look. So he also calls him Bub, which I like that, because Wolverine, but Bub, whatever. Start with what you remember. He remembers everything. He's like, well, can you do special stuff now? Like scream in the middle of the night? Look. Tells him that Wanda was controlling everybody, but the thing is, you weren't, you were like watching the TV show of yourself, but you were stuck in your body. You couldn't do anything. But he got it worse than anybody. He was saying in his mind, don't ask about Agatha Harkness. Don't ask about Agatha Harkness. He's like, tell me about Agatha Harkness. I was like, damn it. She's an ancient witch that will fuck your shit up. They say that verbatim. And he sprays witch repellent. I thought he sprayed, pepper spray on them, but he didn't. He sprays witch repellent, and he takes out it looks like a crow head, and he's like shaking it for juju and shit, because witches are real. And he says he got it way worse than anybody else did in there. Agatha hijacked his life, made him pretend that he was her husband. So Ralph was called her husband. And it made him do horrible things. He held a lady hostage in his attic, Monica Rambeau, poisoned a dog. And I like that Eddie was like, damn, bro, that's rough. and was a terrible influence on Wanda and Vision's kids. He's like, tell me about them. He's like, Tommy the speedster and his mind reading brother made me pretend to made him be a terrible influence on the kids, right? We're on the street. Sword is using Vision for parts. No, White Vision is gone. Interjection here. And I apologize. And I'll hold this dice up for this interjection the whole time. So I wish that somehow I could have been in some of these rooms to tell them, if you really want to have a cohesive story, you're going to have to bring up characters that people know have already seen. We are 4 years, actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 years removed from 2020 when we had WandaVision, right? We are so far removed from that. Where is Vision at this moment? I would have already brought up that Vision was part of the secret Avengers run by the government. I would hope that in this next Captain America movie, we get something about Vision. Interlude over. And so the Scarlet Witch is dead. He also says that she died, but Scarlet Witch might be dead, but Wanda Maximoff's probably still alive. But the kids just disappeared. He said he believes they got sucked into that red bubble along with everything else that Wanda created. Because other people in Westview will not talk about it because it was pretty messed up what Wanda did to them. Like I said, Wanda Maximoff is a villain. You all can be fans of a villain, just stop acting like they're a hero. And when he talks about Agatha, she's like, she's under some type of spell still in there. And Billy goes, oh, so she's harmless. I didn't say that, did I? I love that snapback. Like, I didn't say she was harmless. Gives you words to the wise. Don't go in there. That woman eats and sleeps a different breed of crazy. So this is proof or confirmation that Agatha got in Westview before Wanda. I don't think, unless, because she shows up in the first episode, I believe she was already there, took Ralph's house. He said, I just let her have the house and just left, right? But unless she was there beforehand, setting up shop in Westview to do dastardly things, we're going to get to her in a minute. And then Wanda's kaboom went off as she has her trauma grief moment, and they really do need to make like superhero counselors. You heard of damage control, who fixes all of the things that are damaged in insurance and stuff like that. They really do need superhero psychiatrists. I mean, Jen Walters is a lawyer. They could have a psychiatrist. Not Doc Samson though. No, not him at all. He is not biased and very fallible. Anyway, wrap up this meeting, and the lovebirds kiss. They come in. This is the best representation of a gay couple or a character being gay in a show, at least to date in my eyes, because dude's gay. There you go. Just like a normal person. Just like a normal person. I apologize for that. Just like a heterosexual person would just be like, oh yeah, the kids, those two are together. These two in this relationship is just like, here they are. I also appreciate that the parents are pretty much involved in his life, because dad is like, oh man, Eddie's not here. I made that pot roast he likes. And that shows and establishes they know who their son is. They accept who their son is. And they met the boyfriend. And they like the boyfriend. So, boyfriend's also black. So, gotta you check two boxes off there, Marvel. Now, we're going to talk about more of the So, what is his other interactions with the other coven? Because that's what the little blurb says at the bottom. Well, when Eddie was in his room, he was watching Jennifer Kale's Kale Care YouTube videos, and he's like, her skin is flawless. The cop that came to them when they crashed was Alice Wu-Gulliver. That is who she is. She was still a cop, and she got to them. That's all three of the ladies in the coven. Now, we're going to get into some cool shit here. He was listening to Lorna Wu's song, The Ballad of the Road, right? He has her poster in there. Also, William Kaplan's room before Billy took over that body, he had the Goonies poster. He had Harry Houdini poster. It was already obvious that he had some type of magic and mystical things on top of all this stuff already. So, kid was interesting. Pretty cool. He's been studying the sigil. He knows that it's a sigil. He just don't know what the point of it is. And so he, has a checklist. Wanda Maximoff dead. Vision dismantled. Tommy missing. Billy Maximoff didn't write anything for himself. And so he Googles Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness, ancient witch. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about on this one. So we got the messages. I had to take pictures because I was not going to write all this stuff, guys. He's going on the deep dark web where there are photos of Agatha from old times. The first picture is actually survivors of the Titanic. Mysterious woman survives the Hindenburg. She's also unknown young women in Salem. Also, she's the woman who was Jolene from Dolly Parton. We got surveillance footage of Dolly slapping the shit out of her. Don't mess with Dolly. There's also, so when he gets deeper in there, there's someone who on message board that wrote a Brujapedia. Bruja in Spanish is witch. Also, they made a fake reverse image search place called Lookly, which is pretty funny. Rumors of witches surviving the Salem trials. There's rumors of witches surviving burning and drowning. Witches live for hundreds of years, so they can still be around. The Salemites of Evanora Harkness's coven, the children from their escape. We have that stuff too. We have Dreadit, which is like Reddit, talking about those Salem trials. We're talking about the aging and all that stuff. Ancient witches and ancient warlocks are not well documented traditionally and usually for good reason. Now, let's talk about Agatha real quick. Matter of fact, we'll talk about Agatha. But let me finish. How does Billy get to her, right? Billy got to her because he just did he look up where she lived? I feel like how did he get there? Holy crap, wait a minute. How the hell did he get to her house? Let me see if I wrote this in my notes. Old house drives to Agatha's house. How the hell did he know where she lived? Did he get that information from Ralph Boner, who, by the way, said either you pay me or I'll give you half price tickets to my performance. He's just trying to fill in seats. Nice to see him back. Funny. But I don't remember how he was able to get there. Don't really care. Texting with Eddie because he just saw Eddie that night. It's like, oh, love you too. Eddie says, you are my black heart. So when he gets to Agatha's house, nothing is how it appears. Everything in that first episode was a lie, which makes me wonder if Rio, can't wait to talk about this. I'm itching to talk about this, but it makes me wonder if Rio was actually breaking through and getting, she was saying, look through it, tear through it, claw your way out, and all that other stuff. Which she had to, although he initiated the breaking of the spell. It took some time, but maybe Rio helped give her more of that push, right? And we got to visually see, when she was black and white in the 70s and all that other stuff. And that's how that appears when she's breaking out of that spell. So we see her talking about the case. Cup of coffee gives the coffee to somebody else who we presume is Rio. Remember, she was talking to Rio at her home. We don't get to see Rio, though. The curtain is covered. Curtain is covered. So, He breaks in. He's like, what am I doing now? He's trying to find in order to break the spell, you have to find something of personal importance to enchant over, and it's her brooch. It is her brooch. That brooch that helped break the spell. And so he steals it. The dumbass breaks a lamp. Chase happens. He runs into Mrs. Davis, aka Mrs. Hart. When she opens the door, and that's what knocks him out. She gets like duct tape and a bunch of other stuff, and he's like, oh, I'm happy to meet you. I need your help, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, because he heard about the Witch's Road through the song, and looking online, when you get to the end of Witch's Road, you get what you are seeking. That's when it all clicks for him. And he realized, he says, oh, in your mind, I'm the troublemaking teen. Well, I promise you I'm not. And this was a little bit of levity, a little bit of comedy amongst this entire tragic shit that is going on. People dying, going out of existence, lives being ruined, etc., etc. And so when she puts down the pictures, he goes, those are just flowers. He's like, you can hear what I'm saying. Then he starts doing the chant and does the chant. And she's like, stop saying that. Ties him up. And I love the joke where he goes, no, I don't want to go in the closet again. Good job. That was funny. That was really funny. And then we get to the point. They catch up. He says his name. He says, I'm William Kaplan. And she gives him the look. He says, I'm Billy Maximoff. And is at that point you can realize she doesn't know. Let's talk about Agatha now. Guys, if you remember, not last episode, which would have been episode what? I'm on 6 now, right? So last episode was 5. Episode 4, when we did Alice's shindig. You remember when Rio said, you get your powers back, I get my bodies. A little bit of fun, a little bit of work. Then you go back even further to episode 1 when she's fighting her. And she's about to stab her. She says that's against the rules. Now I think to myself, oh, witches can't kill one another, right? And remember that I said in episode 2, when they were doing the hallucinations and we lose Mrs. Hart, that was episode 2, right? Remember the 6, 5, we lost Alice. The one before that was for Alice. The one before that is when we lost Mrs. Hart. So that's like episode 3 or 4, right? And episode 4 is gonna be important too. Episode 5 is gonna be 4 is gonna be important. 3 is where we lost Mrs. Hart. And remember, we see Lilia sees death. And you would assume that against the rules mean witches can't kill one another, which, everyone, even when they look online, Agatha is not just she's a witch killer. Tragedy comes everywhere. And it's kind of heartbreaking when she says to her mom in WandaVision, I can be good. She even says it last week. I can be good. I can be good. Can you, though? I don't think she can, because Rio gets bodies. And where the hell has Rio been? She hasn't been in this whole entire damn episode. And remember, the end of last episode, she was still in the treehouse with Alice's body. And I had to make sure I'm not crazy. Make sure I'm not just putting together things that are just weird. I think Rio is actually Mistress Death, which, first of all, oh my goodness, thank God if Aubrey Plaza is actually Lady Death, thank God. That means I can see her interact with Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds could be like, oh damn, well I kind of got the hots for this lady now that I'm in this new universe and I can't be with Vanessa. Or we can finally get a thing with her and that would just, please let this be right. Because perhaps the rule is death can't actually kill to collect bodies or souls. And that's the rule. Or perhaps her and Agatha made a pact where she gets the Darkhold, and we stave off killing Agatha, and she gives her all these bodies. I mean, kind of strange that Hindenburg she lives, Titanic she lives, There are survivors from the Titanic. Not a lot, though. But the Hindenburg, she survived that. There's a trail of bodies wherever she goes. And to top it off, now that we are in the present, she comes out of the muck, crawling from a vine. Now, that should be it for everybody. And the only reason I know that should be it for everybody, because she confirms that Billy killed Jennifer Kale and Lilia Calderu with his temper tantrum. And I recall saying last week, if you kill Jennifer Kale, I will give this shit a 2. I am a man of my word, but don't. Just stay tuned till the end. We're killing off one of the most major important characters in the mystical side of Marvel. Good fucking job. Fuck. Anyway, she didn't die from this. You know, she should have. She didn't die from other things. And there's a trail of bodies in her wake. And we have Rio literally confirming it. Pretty sure Rio is Mistress Death. And this is where we get a romance where Agatha has a romance with Death now. And remember, Rio says she's not a Green Witch, she's the Green Witch. What is more green? Think about the green itself. When plants are not spring and fall, are life and death. That is a green thing. She also is rather chaotic and doesn't really care what happens. So why would death really happens? I didn't see the mid-season trailer. I guess I should have. I'll probably watch it with the power of the little bit of editing that I have. But one more key thing here. When she first appears, we all thought that Mrs. Hart's body was rising to the top, and then it goes crickety crack, 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 and it's her. And then they open up the portal and all that other stuff. She arrived through a dead body. She arrived through a grave. That is a lot of evidence pointing to her being that major character. A lot of stuff is going on here. So, yeah, but eventually, obviously, we get to the present, right? And Billy's like, well, I don't need you anymore. And his power his power only works when he has temper tantrums. Oh, and the fact that this is where I'm starting to creep into not liking Billy. I liked William. I feel bad for William. That was a good kid. I'm starting to not like Billy. And in that trailer, we do hear Rio saying, at the end of all roads will lead to me, death. So anyway, these two are having a little bickering. And I like when Agatha kind of makes fun of him after taking off that jacket, makes fun of him, kind of going, what's a sigil? What's that? And he's like, well, when did you figure out? Oh, you and your mother have the same tail, which is incredibly inconvenient for you. I like that she's slick. Is like, I'm not finna tell you what your tail is, fool. And at the end of all this, she's like, well, what do you want? He said, I need more power. Power doesn't interest me. Does it? I like that she's kind of tempting him. But on the flip side of this, which by the way, this was a long episode. It's like 52 minutes. There's this two sides to Agatha that is quite interesting here, right? Because she asks how, I wonder how'd you come across that body, knowing who he is, like Billy Maximoff, right? Just gotta go all the way down from my phone notes here. And I want to say this part word for word. Which is also why I don't like Wanda. Wanda hurts people and then her fans make freaking excuses, and then Billy gets these two killed. And we're all just gonna be like, oh, it's okay, Billy. No. Sick of the damn Maximoffs. Damn, the only one I actually even like is Tenlai Polaris, and her last name is not even Maximoff. Anyway. He did break the sigil, says his name. She can actually hear him. She's like, any witch with a beating heart can hear him. Blah, 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 blah. So she says, only thing is, don't you dare feel guilty about your talent. You survived like witches have been surviving for decades. You saw an empty vessel and you moved in. So you broke the rules. Big deal. That's what kept you alive, and that's what makes you special and makes you a witch. So this very impassioned speech, very similar to what she gave to Jennifer Kale. Does she have pride in being a witch? Or is it the flip side? Is it that she is telling others to not be ashamed because she herself is ashamed of what she is? She sucks in other people's power, which kills them. Perhaps that is part of the deal. Perhaps that is part of the curse. We heard something about Mephisto. Maybe Mephisto is the one who helped sign this deal and put it together. Who knows, right? But that speech right there is so interesting because it's very real from her. It's very passionate from her. But it makes you wonder, right? And again, I said last week, am I supposed to feel bad for this character? No. Death follows her. I can be good. No, though. No, you cannot. You cannot be good. And now neither apparently can Billy. Because apparently they're both going to go to the end room. But he's like, I don't trust you ever. We do get a funny part where she's guessing his motivations, going, well, you want to get mommy back? Well, no, mommy chose a town of people and circuits over you. Papa Robo-Papa? Well, no, he's in pieces somewhere probably. You want your brother Tommy. She's like, I said that, which is kind of funny. That was kind of funny. But they're gonna go down the road. She's like, last one there's a nice person. He's like, I'm not that nice. I'm like, no, neither one of you are. I am not rooting for either one of you. I actively want Agatha to get killed, and Billy, you probably won't get killed because you're a teenager and those are the rules of horror shit. Go somewhere. Learn from somebody. Learn from Wong. Learn from Strange. God, it would have made so much more sense. I wish Kevin Feige didn't give in to the pressures, because Doctor Strange was supposed to come in and help her at the end of WandaVision, which is actually what happened. He helped deliver her kids. Did he help deliver her kids? I believe he helped deliver her kids. He has helped her in several magical instances, and they've helped each other, blah, 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 blah. It just would have made sense. And then this stuff could have made sense to connect all these characters together. But you gave him pressure because you didn't want to be like, well, the guy comes in and cleans it up. And I can imagine somebody, Grace Randolph, complaining about that. I just wish there would have been more ties, because if there would have been a tie to Doctor Strange, I might care about Billy a little bit more. But you just killed Jennifer Kale. I don't give a shit now. I really don't. But yes. Now, I usually don't do part for parts when I do these reviews, but I had to. This one's a little bit longer. I apologize, but it's a lot of stuff in it. It's really good. We got 4 more episodes after this, and the last 2 are going to be together. So all in all, what do I rate this episode? What do I give this episode? I told you last week what it was going to be. I told you what it was going to be, right? If I didn't have a special attachment to Jennifer Kale as a character, it would be a 4 out of 5. It's not a 5 out of 5, right? It's not like the super perfect, the ultimate of this series. It's not the ultimate of this series. Close enough. The ultimate series, funny enough, would actually be like episode 2, showing the stakes on the line. But was that episode 2? No, they get to the road in episode 2. Episode 3, showing the stakes on the line. But it was a good episode. There was nice flashbacks of showing what's going on with Billy, how he got here. But same time, it was predictable. I knew this was Wiccan, whether it was fully Wiccan or whether you were going to do a twist and make it Agatha's Wiccan, but it's Wiccan. And then on the flippity flip side, I told you I was going to give it a 2 if you kill Kale. So you take that 2, you take that 4 that it should be, you put it in the middle. This is a 3. I'll even be nice and give it a 3.5, but Now the little trailer here shows me you might bring her back. If you bring her back, I'll pull an Angry Joe and retroactively give this a 4. But if she doesn't come back, this is going to stay a 3, because that's just so typical of you. Put these characters out here and then kill them for no reason. We've only done 3 trials. And the other one person that's supposed to be there for a trial, she's technically dead. And then Rio is out doing who knows what. So, yeah. Tentatively a 3, but it could be a 4 if these last 4 episodes do what they need to do. We don't need to keep every character. Catherine Hahn has done a great job as Agatha Harkness. If Agatha Harkness dies at the end of this series, I will not feel bad. I will not feel bad at all. At all. But things to think about going into Wednesday. Where's Rio? And what the hell? So, true believers, thank you for taking your time out to listen to me. I had to give you some details. I didn't want to overload you with the official comic stuff. I had to give you the details that I saw in here, which was a whole lot. So thank you. Do not forget, let me know what you think of the episode in the comment section below. Also, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of more reviews like this one. And if you want to support me even further, my Patreon link is in the description below. Thank you. Please be good, be blessed. Wash your hands. Drink some water. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be an Agatha Harkness. All right? Don't be a jerk. Remember, there are people out there that care about you. Reach out to somebody. There are people that rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you that. My social media is in the description below. Give me a follow if you're here because of my social medias. Thank you. And when you go over there, say hi. All right, true believers, is just can't believe we've kind of confirmed but kind of not confirmed. I need to know what's going on with Lilia's vision. Tell me her vision. What was going on with that, right? Right. Until next time. Excelsior.